Reinforce the party's internal scrutiny. October 27th, 2016. Part of the speech at the second full assembly of the 6th plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee. The regulations of the Communist Party of China on internal scrutiny passed at this plenary session represent a top-level design to strengthen internal party scrutiny in the current era. These are basic rules regulating current and future internal party scrutiny, and we must lay stress on their implementation so that they serve as a restraint on the conduct of all party organizations, party members, and officials. In the Yan'an days, Chairman Mao Zedong put forward the idea of breaking the historical cycle of gaining political power only to lose it because of corruption that had often happened in Chinese history. It was thus made clear at the 8th CPC National Congress in 1956 that all party members and organizations were subject to top-down and bottom-up scrutiny. Today we are improving our party's internal scrutiny system in a bid to make it more effective and efficient for preventing and correcting misconduct and enhancing our ability to cleanse, improve, and upgrade our party. There is a long-standing and prominent problem in the party. People are reluctant to engage in scrutiny, or they dare not, or they resist it. They worry about suffering from retaliation if they criticize their superiors, about damaging friendships with persons of equivalent rank if they criticize them, about losing support if they criticize their subordinates. In many places and government departments, internal party scrutiny exists only in theory. The absence of such scrutiny will inevitably lead to the weakening of party leadership, a failure to develop the party, and inefficiency in self-governance of the party. All party members should be fully aware that internal scrutiny is the source of health and life for the party. We should constantly enhance our will to tackle deep-rooted problems so that actively carrying out scrutiny and being receptive to such scrutiny become standard conduct throughout the party. Internal party scrutiny is a task for our party. Party committees or party leadership groups are responsible for scrutiny, and these secretaries are first in the line of responsibility. Members of party standing committees or party leadership groups and party committee members conduct scrutiny within the defined scope of their duties. Party officials at various levels must understand and shoulder their responsibilities, perform their duties, and be bold to carry out scrutiny. Done properly, internal party scrutiny will be carried out in the spirit of learning from past mistakes to avoid future ones and curing the sickness to save the patient. We should communicate with and talk to people as warnings, conduct criticism and self-criticism so as to identify problems and handle them promptly. An analysis of typical cases of corruption dealt with over recent years shows a common process. People first commit small acts of misconduct, and these gradually become more serious. Their acts graduate from being a problem in terms of number to being a problem in terms of degree. If such people had been pulled up by their organizations at the outset, it would have been possible, certainly in some cases, to halt their descent down the path of wrongdoing before it was too late. Party organizations should communicate more with party members, learning about how they think, live, and work. They should pay more attention to feedback from officials and the people, and prevent minor wrongdoings from growing into major ones. Internal party scrutiny should be carried out everywhere and in everything to urge party members and officials to act as who they are and play their proper part. All party members should make a habit of reminding each other and of correcting mistakes in order to make common progress. The commissions for discipline inspection at various levels specialize in internal party scrutiny and accountability. They should put political discipline and political rules first, strengthen scrutiny of compliance with the party constitution and party discipline and rules, and check the implementation of the party's guidelines, principles, policies, and resolutions within their prescribed jurisdiction. They should conduct discipline inspection work under the dual leadership system, strengthen the leadership of commissions for discipline inspection over those at lower levels, enhance the leadership over the dispatched inspection groups, and ensure that all obligations related to party self-governance are fulfilled by both the party organization under scrutiny and the inspection group. As a vehicle and a means for party committees or party leadership groups to fulfill their scrutiny responsibilities in their relevant fields, party organs should carry out internal party scrutiny within their scope of responsibilities. They should strengthen both the internal scrutiny of their own departments and the routine scrutiny of their sector. They should investigate and handle problems promptly instead of always forwarding them to party committees and commissions for discipline inspection. A powerful mesh of internal party scrutiny will be woven as long as we join hands at all levels and across all areas. Democratic scrutiny by party members is a basic approach within the party. It is not only the right but also the unshirkable duty and obligation of party members to our party. Party organizations and members at the grassroots level should strengthen supervision over party officials and urge them to participate in regular meetings of party branches or groups and perform their obligations as party members. At party meetings, party members should be bold in exposing violations of the party constitution and discipline, in criticizing, with evidence, any party organization or member, and in reporting any organization or member to the party on issues of misconduct that contravene the law and party discipline. Party organizations at all levels should guarantee party members' right to be informed and scrutinized. Encourage and support them to play a positive role in internal party scrutiny and strictly investigate and handle cases of interfering with scrutiny and retaliation against anyone involved in scrutiny. Internal party scrutiny is the first and most fundamental means among all forms of scrutiny for the party and the country, but it cannot work as a joint force without being integrated with scrutiny by state agencies, other political parties, the public, and public opinion. Officials should invite scrutiny from all sides, showing both breadth of mind and confidence. We should support the CPPCC's democratic scrutiny in accordance with its charter, pay careful attention to the comments, criticisms, and suggestions from other political parties and prominent individuals without any party affiliation, and encourage them to speak the truth and give suggestions. We should consciously accept scrutiny from the people, provide smooth reporting channels for letters and calls, deal seriously with typical violations of discipline, and promptly respond to the concerns of the people. We should strengthen scrutiny through public opinion and use exposure and analysis of typical cases as a warning, so as to create a positive atmosphere of public opinion in favor of ensuring comprehensive self-governance of the party. The four consciousnesses and the authority of the Central Committee. December 26th to December 27th, 2016. Main points of the speech at a meeting for criticism and self-criticism of the Political Bureau of the 18th CPC Central Committee. The CPC's history and the PRC's course of development have proved that to govern this political party and this vast country, we must ensure solidarity, centralization, and unity of the CPC and safeguard the authority of the CPC Central Committee. The latter is an important requirement of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee in implementing the regulations for political activities within the party in the new era and the regulations of the Communist Party of China on internal scrutiny. Members of the Political Bureau must enhance their political integrity, develop a better understanding of the general picture, follow the core leadership of the Central Committee, and act consistently with CPC Central Committee policy. They must uphold the party's guideline, keep in the party's direction of progress, and maintain the party's lofty will. To remain faithful to the party, we must have firm ideals and beliefs. The four consciousnesses are not an empty slogan and must be put into action. We must abide by the party's basic line and correctly understand and implement the party's theories, guidelines, principles, and policies based on the development trends of humanity, the evolving international situation, and China's development history. We should have an in-depth understanding of the party's basic line and the reasons to uphold it. Remaining forever faithful to the party is the basic requirement of the party constitution for all CPC members. In this regard, members of the Political Bureau must be absolutely loyal to the party, and this is concrete, not abstract, unconditional, not conditional. This loyalty must be reflected by their loyalty to the faith, to party organizations, and to the party's theories, guidelines, principles, and policies. Standing on the side of the people is the fundamental political stance of a Marxist political party. The public is the true driving force for historical progress. The people are the real heroes, and the people's interests are the prime purpose and ultimate goal of the party's work. Zhongnan Hai must be directly connected with the people, and we should always keep the people in our thoughts. Members of the Political Bureau must share the people's joys and sorrows, weal and woe, must pursue people-centered development, must always care for the people, work for the people, and benefit the people, must understand public sentiment, listen to public appeal, and voice public concerns. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, the Political Bureau has performed well in implementing democratic centralism. Always upholding and developing intra-party democracy, it has expanded democracy by multiple means and through multiple channels, thereby ensuring that its decision-making is effective, democratic, and in accordance with the law. The Political Bureau should become a model of the whole party in upholding democratic centralization, combining democracy-based centralization and centralization-guided democracy. As members of this collective leadership, we must find our right place. Implement collective decisions no matter what high positions and power we hold, and bear in mind the overall situation no matter what decisions we make and what we do. Strict discipline is an important guarantee for the party's solidarity, centralization, and unity. Every party member must view discipline with respect and observe it strictly. Members of the Political Bureau should be the first to put this into action. Concerning guiding thoughts, guidelines, principles, policies, and important matters of principle concerning the overall situation, we must be particularly clear-headed and take a firm stance. We must implement the systems for requesting instructions and submitting reports on major issues, balancing the part with the whole and the central authorities with local authorities. The party has maintained its strength because it implements the principle of the party supervising the performance of officials, and we must uphold this principle. The development of the party and its natural undertakings rely on the whole party's hard work towards concrete results. Between merely shouting slogans and earnestly practicing what we advocate, the results are quite different. Speaking the truth and doing honest work is the best way to test and temper the party spirit. Members of the Political Bureau must do solid work, conduct in-depth studies, and make targeted efforts to implement the programs of reform, development, stability, and the people's well-being. To put them into practice, we must conduct research and determine the truth. Facing new circumstances and challenges, we should have the courage and the capacity to confront difficulties. Take a firm stance in major matters of principle concerning the future of Chinese socialism. Tackle tough issues in promoting reform, development, and stability. Crack hard nuts in strengthening party self-governance, and confront the tough with toughness in safeguarding core national interests. We should never bow our heads in the face of difficulties, never flinch from challenges, never compromise our principles, and never damage the fundamental interests of the Chinese nation under any pressure. The Political Bureau should set a good example in carrying out criticism and self-criticism and be bold in reforming ourselves. We should seek truth from facts, dare to conduct criticism and self-criticism, be willing to listen to dissenting views, and correct our mistakes promptly. Superiors, equivalents, and subordinates alike are equally subject to criticism and self-criticism. High-level officials are not untouchable. We should exercise criticism and self-criticism as a habit, an initiative, and a responsibility. We should do this often and well. To win popular support and maintain the authority of the CPC Central Committee, the party must maintain integrity. We must uphold the fundamental purpose of the party, have firm ideals, beliefs, and aspirations, maintain good conduct, enhance our morality, and improve party conduct. Members of the Political Bureau should be the first to practice what is required for the whole party. We should enhance the awareness of integrity and self-discipline, maintain integrity in exercising power properly, incorruptibly, and in accordance with the law, and be self-disciplined in observing disciplines and rules while maintaining our reputation and integrity. Members of the Political Bureau must resist the temptations of privileges and provide good guidance for and exercise proper management of their relatives and immediate staff. Meet the standards for party members. August 13th, 2017. Points raised at a branch meeting in his capacity as an individual party member. Meetings of the party branch have become regular. It is good to have a system of 3 meetings and 1 lecture in which party members regularly attend meetings of general membership, branch committees, and party groups, and 1 lecture every 6 months. During the war, it was a party priority to establish party branches in our companies. From the San Juan reorganization, footnote 1, on September 29, 1927, the troops that Mao Zedong led in the Autumn Harvest Uprising, an armed uprising in the border area of Hunan and Jiangxi provinces, were reorganized in San Juan village of Yongxin County, Jiangxi province. The troops were regrouped into a regiment known as the 1st Regiment of the 1st Division of the 1st Army of the Chinese Workers and Peasants Revolutionary Army. The CPC's absolute leadership over the army was confirmed, and party organizations were established at all levels of the army. Party branches were set up at the company level, party groups at squads and platoons, and party committees at battalions and regiments, with party representatives dispatched to army units above the company level. Democracy was introduced in the army, and officers and soldiers were treated equally. Committees for soldiers were also set up. The San Juan reorganization laid the foundation for the new type, People's Army. End of footnote 1. To the Gutian meeting in 1929. Footnote 2. This refers to the 9th Congress of the 4th Red Army of the CPC held in Gutian village of Shanghang County, Fujian Province in December 1929. It was at this meeting that the principle of cultivating the army with the CPC's political philosophy was established. End of footnote 2. Our party started to build the army politically with a focus on developing primary level party organizations. As for the 3 meetings and 1 lecture system, our party branch has carried it out thoroughly. We should do it with great care, starting from the Central Committee and myself, setting a good example. Everyone here today is an ordinary party member, equal at our organizational activities. It is an essential requirement to observe the party constitution and better meet the standards for party members. At present, the key task for the party and the country is to ensure the success of the 19th National Congress. I hope everyone will focus on self-improvement, do our job well in this critical period, strictly discipline ourselves in accordance with the standards for party members, and make no errors in our work. You all do important, confidential work. You should do all of your work well, with great care, and must succeed. You should fulfill your duties and accomplish to the full what has been assigned to you. I hope you can be noble-minded people above base interests. You are now engaged in a noble cause. You have made the wrong choice working here if you intended to get promotion and make a fortune. You should never come here in the first place if you care for nothing but your own gain and advancement. There are examples, historical and contemporary, for us to follow. Zhang Si. Footnote 3. Zhang Si, 1915 to 1944, was a soldier of the Guard Squad of the CPC Central Committee. He joined the Red Army in 1933, participated in the Long March, and was wounded in battles. He was a loyal communist in service of the people. On September 5th, 1944, Zhang died when burning charcoal in the mountains of Ansai County in northern Shanxi province, killed when the kiln collapsed on him. At Zhang's memorial service on September 8th, 1944, Mao Zedong made the speech, "Serve the people." End of footnote 3. Norman Bethune. Footnote 4. Norman Bethune, 1890 to 1939, was a Canadian physician and a member of the Communist Party of Canada. After the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression broke out nationwide in 1937, Bethune led a medical team of Canadian and American surgeons to China. On November 12, 1939, he died in Tangshan County, Hebei Province, from an infection he contracted during a surgery. On December 21, 1939, Mao Zedong praised his selflessness and wholehearted service to the people in the essay In Memory of Norman Bethune. End of footnote 4. Jiao Yu Lu. Footnote 5. C. Be a good county party secretary. Pages 151 to 163. End of footnote 5. And Mai Xiande. Footnote 6. Mai Xiande, 1945 to the present, was enlisted in the Navy at the age of 18 during a sea battle between PLA and Taiwan gunboats on August 6, 1965. Mai, seriously wounded, managed to fix a mechanical failure and ensured the safety of his boat. He was awarded the honor Battle Hero by China's Ministry of National Defense in 1966 and received the August 1st Medal from the Central Military Commission in 2017. End of footnote 6. In ordinary posts, these people have devoted and are devoting themselves to the cause. I would like you to follow suit. Reflect on yourselves. Learn from the past. Steer clear of the danger of committing mistakes. Strictly follow discipline and rules, and stay cautious and prudent. I hope that you believe in the people, the party, and the organization. You have joined the great cause and dedicate yourselves selflessly to achieving the 2 centenary goals. You will make a contribution as remarkable and glorious as others. I hope that you remain faithful to and devote yourself to the organization. Then the organization will take care of you, cherish you, and trust you. New development concepts. Guide development with new concepts. October 29th, 2015. Part of the speech at the second full assembly of the 5th plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee. Concept is the precursor of action, and likewise, certain developments are led by certain concepts. Concepts decide in a fundamental manner the success of results. Practice has shown us that as development is bound to undergo changes influenced by the prevailing environment and conditions, development concepts will change accordingly. I emphasized before the drafting of the recommendation of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China for the 13th Five-Year Plan for Economic and Social Development that we should first of all be clear about the development concepts we are about to set. Development concepts are meant to be strategic, to outline and guide, and to be about development ideas, direction, and focus. If the development concepts are right, it becomes easier to set goals and policy measures. These recommendations put forward the concepts of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and inclusive development. These development concepts did not emerge from the ether. They came from both domestic and foreign experience of development, and from analysis of both domestic and foreign trends in development. They epitomize our party's growing understanding of laws governing economic and social development based on our country's most prominent conflicts and problems. Innovative development focuses on the drivers of growth. Our ability to innovate is inadequate. Our science and technology is not fully developed and is unable to create momentum to support economic and social development. Innovation makes a much lower contribution to economic growth in China than in developed countries. This is the Achilles heel for such a big economy as China. A new round of revolution in science and technology will inevitably give rise to fiercer competition. If our capacity to innovate fails to meet the need to boost the economy, we will lag behind in global economic competition. So, we must consider innovation as the primary driving force of growth and the core in this whole undertaking, and human resources as the primary resource to support development. We should promote innovation in theory, systems, science, and technology, and culture, and make innovation the dominant theme in the work of the party and government and in everyday activity in society. Coordinated development aims to solve the imbalance in development. The development disparity is a long-standing problem in our country, conspicuous across regions, between urban and rural areas, and in the relationship between economy and society, between material and cultural progress, and between economic development and strengthening national defense. When we are underdeveloped, our primary task is to catch up quickly. But after a period of doing so, we need to adjust and pay more attention to the overall effect. Otherwise, the bucket effect will show, intensifying social conflicts. So we must hold fast to the basics of the socialist cause with Chinese characteristics, properly handle major relationships in development, and constantly increase harmony in development. Green development highlights the harmony between humanity and nature. Green, circular, and low-carbon development, which is the most promising sector, guides the direction of the current revolution in science, technology, and industry. We have huge potential in this regard, which could give rise to many new engines of growth, while we are constantly faced with ever tighter resource constraints, serious environmental pollution, and ecological degradation. We are also faced with people's growing demands for clean air and drinking water, safe food, and a beautiful environment. So we must uphold the basic national policy of conserving resources and protecting the environment, follow the path of healthy development to achieve productive development, prosperity, and a sound ecological environment, and create a society that represents these principles. We must build a beautiful China and contribute our part to global ecological security. Open development prioritizes interactions between China and the international community. Profound changes are taking place in international economic cooperation and competition, and major adjustments are underway in the global economic governance system and rules. Global communication is becoming more profound, more extensive, and more frequent, and the pressure to cope with external economic risks and maintain national economic security is unprecedented. Our problem now is not whether to continue opening up, but how to improve the quality of opening up and increase China's connectivity with others. We are not opening up wide enough. We lack the ability to use domestic and foreign markets and resources. We are weak in dealing with international trade friction, in exerting influence on the international economy, and in applying international trade rules. We need to improve in these areas. To this end, we must uphold the basic national policy of opening up, implement an opening up strategy characterized by mutual benefit, strengthen cultural exchange, and improve the layout of opening up regions of foreign trade and of investment. With such efforts, we can form a new system for opening up, develop an open economy at a higher level, and drive innovation, reform, and development. The Belt and Road Initiative is a major strategic measure to boost opening up and provide a top-level design for economic diplomacy. We should identify areas where breakthroughs are most likely, promote our experience to wider areas, and consolidate progress step by step to achieve final success. We should help to improve the global economic governance system, play a leading role in developing the global economic agenda, maintain a multilateral trade system, speed up the implementation of a free trade strategy, and actively undertake our international responsibilities and obligations to commensurate with our ability and status. Shared development underpins social equality and justice. To govern the country, the priority is to realize equality, and then stability will follow. Footnote 1. Lu's Spring and Autumn Annals, Lu Shi Chun Qiu. End of footnote 1. Allowing people to share the fruits of reform and development is the essence of socialism. It demonstrates the superiority of socialism and the party's wholeheartedness in its mission of serving the people. Only if this problem is properly addressed will the people's enthusiasm, initiative, and creativity be fully aroused. Only then can national development gain sufficient momentum. While it is true that the cake of development is growing larger, it is also the case that the portions are not being shared out evenly. There are growing disparities in income levels and in urban and rural public services. In sharing the fruits of development, there are imperfections, both in institutional structures and in actual outcomes. Therefore, our driving principle must be that development is for the people and by the people, and its benefits are shared by the people. We must design more effective systems to steadily lead all the people to common prosperity and eradicate the huge gap between the rich and the poor. This session has emphasized that to pursue innovative, coordinated, green, open, and inclusive development is a profound reform bearing on the overall development of our country. Each of these 5 concepts is essential on an individual level. Together, they are interconnected, forming one integrated whole that must be implemented in unison and with equal attention. The development process will be hindered if any one of them is neglected. All party members must improve their ability and competence in implementing these 5 concepts to open up new frontiers of development.